Okay. Okay. So my next presentation is called "What's Supposed to Say About Mercury," and I'm talking about the planet Mercury. Now, and I know my last video I made a video about barefoot and shoes, but now today I'm gonna talk about Mercury. So what is so I'm not gonna right now, and today I'm talking about the planet called Mercury. Okay, now now. If you want to tell me, now, if you want me to talk about the liquid called mercury, let me later in a later video. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, I might talk about it in a later video since I want to talk right now. I'm talking about the planets called Mercury. Okay, maybe in a later video, maybe in a few years from now, I might talk about the liquid called Mercury if you want me to talk about that. But right now, I'm talking about the planets called Mercury. Okay, so the planets called Mercury. It's it's the closest planet, well, to the sun, you know. I think it looks like this. It's a gray planet, like our moon, but Mercury is bigger than our moon, and it's closer to the sun. So, and yeah, at daytime it can get up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit, but I think in the cold, I think it can get to 200. I think negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So, now I don't know if anyone's thinking about colonizing the planet Mercury. Let me Google that, cause I don't know. Colonizing Mercury. Okay. You see, it has been suggested that the planet Verde is going to be developed high as it's along the of Mercury. The poles do not indicate day-night variations as Mercury do, and make the best place for a planet begin a colony. Okay. Okay. So right here it says how you colonize the planet Mercury. Um, it says right here about exoplanets. Hmm. It's a exofiction. Right here to see. It says if the city was placed on the ninth side, it had wheels. If you moving to stay ahead from the sun, he would have lived of burning up. Okay. So this is this. So yeah, I'm googling it to find out. So do people want to colonize the planet Mercury? Yes, there's some people that do, but they just want to. And I just found out that they just want to live on the night side of the planet Mercury. But the problem is that Mercury is still not habitable for people to live in on either side. So even though it's too hot on one side and too cold on the other side, still. So yeah, I can just see. I could go find out what kind of people. So yes, there's people that do want to colonize the planet Mercury. But anyway, I want to live here on Earth. I don't want to live on the planet Mercury. I don't. I'd rather just stay here on this Earth. But if you want to live there, go ahead. Because I can't stop you anyway. But to me, I think it's best for you to stay here on Earth anyway. Because Earth is habitable, okay? Mercury isn't. Okay? So why do you want to live? I'm not sure. Why what people do is just leave a planet that is habitable and go to a planet that's not habitable for you to live at all. Like this one, Mercury, for example. But anyway. And I know they do. I know they do. And I know they're doing the same thing for Venus. Well, that's what I'll talk about in another video. So, plus, now, do you want to learn about Mercury's phases as well? Here it is, right here. So you got new, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, and you got full, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and you got new. Those are the different phases of the planet Mercury. Okay? And the reason why we see that is because, well, Mercury is the closest, is closer to the sun. It's the closest planet to the sun. That's why we have different phases of the planet Mercury. That's why. Now, what about Mercury in different How about the planet Mercury in different languages? In Spanish is Mercurio. Yep. So Mercurio is how to say the word. That's how to say the word Mercury in Spanish. So yeah, yeah. Okay. Now. And I know how to say this one because this one's in French.
Mercure.
Okay, Mercure. So I'll say Mercury in French. Okay. Not that much of a change. But when you get to Mandarin, it does change.
Gong.
That's just, I'm looking for the planet one, so.
水星.
Okay, Shui Xing. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly, but that's how to say Mercury in Mandarin.
C'est un balcon.
Okay, as a Bach. That's probably the. Let me fix this. I don't think I got the right one for Google Translate. Well, they have alternate is the Arabic one for Mercury. I don't know, but for Japanese,
彗星
okay, Suiza. It's how to say Mercury in Japanese, and I talk about the planets one. So, and now we can get to the last one, Korean.
수은,
That's no okay. Yeah, Suin's not the correct one we're looking for. We're looking for the planet, right?
수성,
Okay, Susong is how to say Mercury in Korean. And I'm talking about the planet's Mercury, so that's why. Alright. Okay. And I had, well, it is true. Okay, so, no, one more thing. I did have a troll. Yeah, one troll. It was on Discord and it was on my YouTube comments. I kicked her out finally, but it was a troll that's just one don't want to believe in my real stories. She wants to believe in lies about me. You know, she's just one to believe in lies. She thinks I'm lying, but she's the one who's lying. I don't know. She thinks I speak foreign English, but that's not true, guys. Okay, that's not true. Okay? And she doesn't think I was born here either. Stupid woman, anyway. But I banned from the Discord and I blocked her this time, so. Yeah, and she said she's going to unsubscribe. Well, that's fine. I don't need that. I don't need that stupid troll anyway. Anyway. First of all, I was born in Oregon and I came to California, okay? And I did went to public schools, but I'm not going to talk about that right now, okay? I did not even become against public school until I started watching Ken Holvid. Okay, so I started watching Ken Holvid. That's when I became against public schools. Now, I'll talk about schools in a different video since maybe around 2024 is when I'll start talking about schools. Okay? And I'll tell you. So it's when I started. So when I started watching Ken Holvid. Okay, that's when I became against public schools. Okay, and I didn't even watch Ken Holvid until later on. Okay, when I was at school, having fun at school, I wasn't against public schools back then. Okay, I didn't know better back then. Now I do. Now I am against it because I learned what the schools are teaching when I was watching Ken Holvid. Okay. And I'll talk about that. I'll talk more about that when I make a video about about schools. Since anyway, I blocked that. Anyway, I blocked that troll. Okay, that. Anyway, that troll was a woman anyway, but not a very but not a very nice one. That's for sure. You know, if you don't like me, then go. I told you, if you don't like it, go away and leave me alone. Okay? I'm not gonna put up with your crap. Okay? Just leave me alone if you don't like. Because and what this one wants to do is argue with me too, and not believe anything. Not believe anything that I say. So I'm not gonna call her out. I'm just not gonna call her out. I'm not gonna say her name. I just wanted to say is when I said to leave me alone, just leave me alone, okay? When I said something about when I say what I believe, okay? Look, I know what my life is. You don't, okay? So why you don't believe? Why can you assume you're not believing me when I know my life is and you don't? Okay, I'm gonna talk about that when I talk about the Bible stuff about schools later. Anyway, well, I'll get into what the Bible says about the planet Mercury. So, what is Mercury? Well, I got an article about it right here. The solar system Mercury. So let's see. So Mercury is the smallest planet of our solar system that holds big mysteries to secular astronomers. And they continue to do like creationists. So Mercury has 38% of the diameter of Earth, making it the smallest and least massive of the 8 planets. It's the innermost planet of the solar system, orbiting the sun distance of 36 million miles. And it's nearly 3 times closer to the sun than Earth is. Mercury is a solid rocky world with only a trace of an atmosphere. It has mountains, valleys, plains, and craters. Lots and lots of craters and appearance. Mercury is a 40% larger than radius version of the moon. When it comes to creation research of the early solar system, Mercury provides many interesting clues of unusual characteristics of the world, making it an intriguing study. So you can see what Mercury is. The world of extremes. Since it's the closest to the sun, Mercury is the shortest year of any planet, taking only 88 days to complete one orbit. So every time Earth completes one orbit, Mercury already has made 4 trips around the sun. On the other hand, the longest solar day of the planet, so the day of studying Mercury's surface, will only see a sunrise every 176 Earth days. The sidereal relative to the stars rotation rate of Mercury is 59 Earth days. So you could somehow watch Mercury through a telescope from a distant star, but you could see that it will rotate 1 time every 59 days. This is called a sidereal day, because sidereal means star. We're watching the stars in scenario. On the other hand, if we could somehow watch Mercury from the position of the sun, it would appear to turn once every 176 days. This is called a solar day. Mr. Evans said, as Mercury orbits the sun, it rotates. That's true of the planet. It's also true of the other planets. Through the difference, it's generally much less. Mercury's slow rotation results in some interesting effects. A given spot on Mercury on direct sunlight of the 88 continuous Earth days at a time. And since Mercury is 3 times closer to the sun than Earth is, Mercury can reach 800 degrees Fahrenheit, more than hot enough to melt lead. Perhaps even more surprising, on the temperature of the night side of Mercury can drop to negative 280 degrees Fahrenheit. This is because the continued darkness of the 488 days at significant to prevent the nighttime surface from radiating virtually all of its heat into space. I understand that it's a scenarios. Supplies are based around a fuel, but not before you get to the land near the equator of Mercury. Thankfully, you'll land on the night side, barely. on the spacesuit text on the bare clothes surface. It won't protect you from the 800-degree daytime temperatures that are about to occur when the sun rises in just a couple of hours. Next to Mercury's very long day, you can begin jogging leisurely, pacing 2 miles per hour. As long as you can maintain that pace, you can stay ahead of the sunrise, remain steady in the night as long as it takes place for the rescue ship to arrive. Effectively, you'll be jogging in the opposite direction the planet rotates at the same rate, but by permanently remaining in the safe shadow of night. So Mercury's strange orbit. Another aspect of Mercury's rotational sidereal period is the 2/3 of the orbital period. So Mercury turns on the axis 3 times over the Sun twice. In astronomy, however, ratio of 2 periods can be explained of this simple fraction. It's called renaissance. Resonance. Mercury is the only planet in our system whose rotation period is orbital period in renaissance. There are reasons for this. Involves Mercury's orbit. Mercury has the most eccentric orbit of any planet, meaning that its orbit city of elliptical, not as circular of other planets. The Kuiper's second law, the see source of article, the planet of an elliptical orbit moves faster and closer to the sun it does and farther away. The closest approach is called the perihelion. It's a perihelion, and this is when the Mercury moves the fastest. The most distant point is the aphelion, and this is where it orbits the slowest. But Mercury rotates rate does not change. It's just when Mercury is near perihelion, its rotation rate essentially matches the revolution rate. It just keeps the same side pointed at the sun several weeks. The configuration is very gravitationally stable. It would be strange to watch this phenomenon on the surface of the surface of Mercury itself. If we could survive there. Imagine we begin watching a slow sunrise. It takes almost 20 hours begin to first moment on the top of the sun peaks over the horizon at the time the horizon is visible, but it seems enormous at Mercury's perspective. Putting it 2.5 times larger in the sky than the Earth, over 6 times brighter. It means that black even when the sun is up. Mercury lacks the comfort of the Earth's-like atmosphere. The sun then gradually climbs higher in the sky over the next several weeks. The stars rise in the east, and the moves and the trines to the speed of the sun. As Mercury approaches perihelion, the sun seems to gradually slow its upward path, while the stars continue to rise at their usual pace. The sun is now essentially larger than witness the sunrise over the 3 times larger than appears from Earth, and 10 times brighter. The sun gradually comes to a complete stop and it begins to just slowly backward and slightly for about a week. It might feel like Hezekiah, Isaiah 38 verse 8. I can read that to you. Here's Isaiah 38 verse 8. I'll read to you in the King James Bible, because I'm King James only anyway. Here it says, "Behold, I'll bring again the shadow of degrees, which is gone to the down of the dial of Ahaz." Okay, the 10 degrees backwards, so the sun returned the degrees, which is degrees, it was gone down. Okay, now it slows. Now and then it slows and stops once again, the reverse direction once more. The sun gradually assumes a forward path. shrinking and fading a bit as Mercury moves toward aphelion. The sun is visually sets in the west roughly a few months after sunrise. Okay. Okay. Observing Mercury. Since it's close to the sun, Mercury appears to be quite bright in our nighttime sky, revering by the stars, yet most people have never seen it. The planet is challenged to locate because orbits so close to the sun, it's easily lost in the glare. Most of the planets can be seen late at night, when the sky is quite dark. But not Mercury. It's only visible in the twilight, only certain times of the year, when it is part of its orbit, that appears an angle, but most distant from the sun. This is a position called the greatest elongation. But sometimes it is possible to see Mercury just after sunset on eastern elongations, just before sunrise for western elongations. Okay. Thanks to Mercury's short period, greatest elongations happen 6, sometimes 7 times a year. Our next chance of Mercury will be on October 9, 2013 on the few days before this. Go outside at 20-30 minutes, go after sunset, and look low to west, just above the horizon. Venus will also be visible and bright and much higher in the sky. Look between Venus and the point where the sun sets you, and you will see the much fainter Mercury. Mercury confirms creation. Since Mercury is close to the sun, it's only visible low in the sky after sunrise. Earth-based telescopes of the Mercury is best ever revealing. And chance when NASA sent a minor attention spacecraft to Mercury in 1974 verify encounters. And Meridian was able much image of the day of the day side of Mercury and percent detail. It's also measured by the center of magnetic field of the tiny planet. And certain degrees of Cepheus and the belief of the source of them is billions of years old. But because the small planet of Mercury should not be able to maintain a magnetic field for so long, but it doesn't surprise creationists. A physicist of Dr. Humphreys, HD, is a biblically model for a very good count of biblies of to about 6,000 years, and a downside up of the straight of the Dr. Humphreys depicted of the Mercury's magnetic field and show measurable data since 1974 measurements that confirm that result of more recent of 2008-2013 measure spacecraft. Well, God created the Earth on day 1, and God created the planet Mercury on day 4 of His creation week. So, and this was about, I don't know, 7,000 years ago. So, I think Mercury is just fine. Yeah, but since Mercury has a weaker magnetic field, yeah, I guess Mercury will lose its magnetic field before Earth does. And then once Mercury loses its magnetic field, it will be exposed to to solar radiation from the sun, which is and I'm not sure how long it's going to take for Mercury to lose its magnetic field anyway, but I know it's going to be, but I know it's going to be, but I know it's going to be, but I just know that Mercury's going to lose it before Earth because it's weaker. Okay, I just don't know because I'm not sure how long magnetic fields last. Okay, I'm not an expert on that. So Mercury has been used to become for aspects of science. The theoretical of physicists of Albert Einstein's general relativity indicates the gradual fields effect of measurements in space and time. One such prediction of relativity of Mercury's aphelion should process at a different rate. Classical physics would predict process means an ellipse of Mercury's orbit slowly rotates at your location of the perihelion and of the perihelion and aphelion gradually changes observations of the Einstein's prediction, bolstering the findings of general activity. Creationists have long debated about how the craters in our solar system actually happen. Were the planets created with craters? Does God use some process from planets on day 4, such as the craters? The last material, he brought the impact to the surface. Did it happen after the curse of during the flood year? If so, why? Mercury may also hold the key of theories of cratering. Most of the rocky worlds in our system have tectonic, atmospheric, and volcanic activity, and can remove evidence of any previous craters, but not Mercury. Its pristine surface may be a window into original conditions of our solar system. What other secrets can we discern from this fascinating little world? Time will tell. Okay, so that's the article about the planet Mercury. Okay, now to our next video is Mercury's surface does look young. I'll talk about the next video because yeah. And you want to get saved? Well, I'm on the wrong one, so evolution. Okay. So let's talk about here. So I talk about creation here. Okay, I believe that the Earth is about 7,000 years old. Okay, the Bible is true. It's and I believe in creation. Okay, so that's what here it is. So point of evolution is a damn souls to hell, and also the point of the flat Earth theory is a damn souls to hell as well. When you go to heaven, speak of our Lord Jesus Christ. Salvation is by faith alone and grace alone, Jesus Christ alone, and once you serve that He is the truth. Okay, meaning you can't lose your salvation, and meaning easily believes in this, that salvation is easier to do is just believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. Okay, and now I'll talk about so Mercury's surface is still young. We'll talk about next video. Okay. Okay, and you have to go right now. But I hope this video shows you about what the Bible says about the planet Mercury. Okay? And you can all and I know later we'll talk about what the Bible says about the planet Venus. Okay? Later on as well. Okay? Okay, and you have to go right now. So thank you for watching this video. Enjoy this. Bye.